Let's just use that instead.
Hello! Welcome to the Esports Architects Podcast.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Esports Architects Podcast. Bearlight here with you as always. We have a special guest on the show today. It is CJ Collins, the Director of Operations for the Carolina Esports Hub. CJ, welcome in, man.
Hello, Bear. How are you?
It's so very good. So very good to see you as always.
It's great to see you as well.
Yeah, so obviously the Super Bowl just happened as of this recording. So,
yeah.
do you have any plans for that?
Yeah, my cousin flew up from Miami, and he's a diver. I'm a diver too. I was a diver first, Morgan. So if you watch this, I was a diver first. But Morgan and I both started diving, and so he lives in Miami and he dives just about every day. It's kind of a after work activity for him. So he'll go, but he finds lobsters and fish and does spear fishing, and so he'll go down there, grab the lobsters. So he brought us some lobsters up from Miami.
Nice.
They were caught Thursday.
Okay.
We cooked them Saturday and made some lobster mac and cheese, and we've been having it over the last couple of days. It's been good.
I had his mac and cheese today, actually.
Oh, do you have it? Would you like it?
It's so good, dude.
I love it. Hey, fresh
So
lobster.
good.
Kudos to Morgan.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some combinations of mac and cheese where you're just like, I don't know about this, but that was bomb.
Yeah, lobster mac and cheese. It's actually really an ongoing joke. Rick and I, we had lobster mac and cheese one of the first times we ever hung out. Hey. And that's our ongoing joke that we're going to go get some lobster mac and cheese. Like, hey, let's get out of here. We'll get some lobster mac and cheese. So.
You know what I want?
Tell
lobster mac and cheese.
No, there you go. Yeah, it's delicious. It's lobster, cheesy deliciousness. So. Yeah, but I'm excited to be here today. Thanks for having me, and excited to get into all things Carolina Esports Hub.
All right, well, let's get to it. Let's get into the news. Into the pro team first, because in the Carolina Esports Hub, we have the Charlotte Phoenix pro team, pro Rocket League team. Overall, the split, I mean, it started off strong. One match away, rather. Actually, technically, one game away.
Dude, it was like 5 overtimes
from
in a
getting
row.
to that.
like
the
overtime
main events.
Yeah, it was like first one versus Accelerate. I don't know if they go by Accelerate. Is that right?
It's now Axel. Team Axel.
Team Axel. So Team Axel, game 5, and it's like that's the one you want to win to be able to start your game. You know, your split off. Goes to overtime. Just are not able to close it out. And that was like that all night, right? Overtime. Just couldn't close out in the overtimes. And we love the guys though. But it was definitely heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, I think, for all of us here in the office too, because we're all watching in the chat. And
we're hype for all of us. But then in addition to that, your dad, who I saw rocking some Charlotte Phoenix gear. Talk a little bit about that. How did that happen?
Yeah. Dad is awesome. We love Dad. He actually has Huntington's disease. So he's not all there. He's lost some of his characteristics from his motor skills and his communication skills. But so he like finds things, and he's very, very excited about those things specifically. And so he actually saw Charlotte Phoenix gear. One of the first things I gave him for Christmas was a Charlotte Phoenix sweatpants. So he's got the sweatpants.
Naturally, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. and so because he's got the sweatpants, he always is asking me about Charlotte Phoenix stuff. So whenever I see him, so he shows up at the house on Saturday. We're hanging out with Morgan. We're talking about lobster mac and cheese. And he's like, "Oh, CJ, like, is the Charlotte Phoenix playing today?" I'm like, "Dad, they are playing today. They're playing Rocket League tonight." And so he asked a bunch of questions, and I was like, "Do you want to take a picture of me on Twitter?" And so we took a picture, and it's a great memory, because he gets really excited because, he's just excited for his son being able to do stuff. So, but we love Data Pathfinder, and he's the man, and he's really, really funny. He makes me laugh a lot. So.
I agree with you. Cool guy. Also, talking about getting excited, it's the iRacing team for the Charlotte Phoenix.
Sure.
Obviously, maintaining Graham Bolin on the team is huge.
Sure.
After his third place finish in the ENASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Yep. So he was popping off third place. But then, of course, that's exciting. But then you add to it, Femi Olot comes on, and he was tied in 6th in points at the end of the season. So that is 2 strong competitors here for the Charlotte Phoenix this year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Femi was somebody we looked at. I remember last season when we were going through free agency, and we ended up with Colin Keister. And we liked Colin. And then we also had our eyes on several other guys. There's a bunch of local Charlotte folks that we liked. We talked to Casey Kerwin. We talked to Michael Conti and several other drivers. And then who won the Daytona last year was Femi. We ended up with Femi, and I love Femi. He's an awesome driver. He's a great personality. And I'm excited to see him this season along with Graham. We're hoping those two are able to just tear it up because they both play so well all last season. So, and that starts up very soon here, and we're excited about watching those races on Tuesdays. So,
of course, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he landed 5 top 10s and a win, just kind of put on the stat chart.
He's insane, dude.
Absolutely insane.
So good.
Kicked it off in Daytona with the win. So hopefully it'll happen again this year. Yep. They kick off with Daytona again. That starts on Tuesday, February 14th.
Tomorrow. That's right.
As of this recording.
Yeah, so it'll probably be. They might get it a little bit later, but hopefully Femi or Graham both 1 and 2. One of the two. That's
cool. How did the drivers do during? I know they had like a friendly match, right? If you will. I forget the results there, but I'm excited for the team.
Yeah. When we Clash, I don't know if anybody. Clash is like the big race that we have at the beginning of the year. That's normally not for points. It's kind of just getting everybody back into it. But that track is actually at the Coliseum in California, and they rebuild the whole Coliseum for it. And it's the size of an actual running track, so 400 meters. And so those cars, as they're going around, just get tore up because you really have to fight for position. And so we actually, Femi and Graham both got tore up in their heats, and we actually didn't make the finals on that one. But honestly, the Clash for us is just a fun race to be able to watch as we get into the season. But I'm excited for Daytona. I'll definitely be watching it tomorrow. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Well, that's the Charlotte Phoenix. Let's move on to something a little different. Actually, Halo coming to town.
Yeah.
In Charlotte specifically. And so HCS with their kickoff land, right? Their kickoff major, that is. So competitors from around the globe in Halo competing here at the Charlotte Convention Center. That's going down February 24th through the 26th. It's going to feature a $250,000 prize pool. And also, like always, it features that FFA tournament. I know that's pretty common in the Halo/COD world. So what are you most excited about there?
Halo's a very nostalgic game for me. I don't know about you, but that was one of
definitely.
Yeah, got the Xbox. I remember in middle school playing Halo 2 first time on Xbox Live at my buddy's house. And that's what we do. We do split screen, Halo 2, and just do you have a similar story for that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, Two Towers, right? Is that the one? Oh, my goodness. Every single day.
Yeah.
So I didn't own an Xbox, so my memories are strictly me getting absolutely stomped.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was fun nonetheless. And to have that friend that's teaching you trick shots, silly things like that, and getting into the scene as a whole.
Yeah, and me and my buddy, we played in a lot of doubles tournaments. Back then, you could play, not on Halo 2, but to start a Halo 3 era. We had a gaming club at the high school, and so I was the president of the gaming club. He was more talented than me as a doubles partner, though, and so he went and he would actually carry us to all the victories. Like, honestly, I would just hide. I would hide. He'd win every single 1v1. All I had to do was hide and make sure he didn't get in 2v1s, and I was good.
Nice.
So I spent all my time hiding, and honestly, it was fun. And we just spent every weekend just playing on Xbox Live. And that was the first time. Remember the old Xbox headsets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't nice sounds. It was just you could just hear people screaming in your ear. And so it's very fond memories, and I'm excited to see another big esports event come to Charlotte. We've had Rainbow Six Siege, and there's more in the pipe. And going and seeing these events is really, really cool because what normally happens is they show up and then we have a lot of conversations with folks that kind of come out of the woodworks, right? They're watching esports, but maybe the Halo's their game and they just end up at this event and they're like, oh, this is so cool. And then they learn about the Carolina Esports Hub and all the things that we're trying to do and build on this side. So I love seeing big events like this come to the city. And we have a lot of Halo fans inside of Charlotte.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool.
I agree. And, I mean, that's the building blocks, right, of esports is really the grassroots is where it matters. So to, kind of grow it in that sense was awesome. I know we saw a lot of that with Rainbow Six Siege coming through and having their major too. Do you think potentially that when Rainbow Six Siege came here through Face It, right, that opened the door for a lot more events to happen on the horizon here, esports-wise, here in the city of Charlotte? Yeah,
running events of this scale and magnitude are really hard. They require a lot of preparation and a lot of planning. And it's not just one person, and in a lot of ways, it's not just one team. You normally have, 20 different contractors, and everyone has kind of their piece of the show, whether it's building the stage or running the production or setting up the ticketing or running the free play area or the open bracket. All of these pieces are super, super important. And so we've gotten to partner with Esports Engine, with 343 themselves, all these different pieces, and seeing them come together, and you kind of have to be on the same page, right? So we end up talking to each other about what does this look like, and what does this look like, and how can we accomplish this? And one of the things that we found at the Carolina Esports Hub is we're able to help them supplement in areas where they might not have the bandwidth to do that, right? Not that they can't and they're not capable of doing it, but the magnitude of these events, there's so many pieces. And so because of that, we're just trying to be supporters within the overall event. So we're always coming with open arms and saying, hey, like, what can we help you with? Do you need help with the production side? Do you need a graphic artist? Do you need some video editors? Or, do you need some ticketing help? Do you need help with the open bracket? What does that look like? And so that's what the Carolina Esports Hub is supposed to do. And we're excited that there's more events coming so that we can help in whatever way we can, whatever way they need at that time. So.
For sure. Yeah. What does the involvement look like from the Halo perspective this time around?
So we're providing them with, I think, around 20 or 24 staff. To do a variety of different things. There's merchandise, there's ticketing, some help on building what the actual operation setup is on their side. Sure. But there's all these different facets of how we're trying to invest and help them. So it's going to be cool. I'm really excited for it. I've been looking forward to it for a little while now since I heard that we were doing it. So.
Yeah, and I'll be part of that crew too. So you can find me and CJ. Again, that's the Charlotte Convention Center, February 24th through the 26th. So come stop by.
That's right.
If you're from the area. For those of you who aren't as well, other things were obviously taking place in the Carolina Esports Hub over the last little bit, including with Stay Plugged In. I want to talk about Carry to College and what a huge event this was. This is players across the country. I believe we've even had some international students play in Carry to College, which is the online, high school recruitment
event. It's the biggest one we do every year,
and it's for like the major titles too. We talk Rocket League, Overwatch 2 is now launched, and obviously the players adapting to that new game. But then Riot's games too. So League of Legends and Valorant happen there too, and it was a unique experience because Stay Plugged In does a great job with this. I mean, you're talking about like the college fair that happens online within Discord, and you see students connecting in there, and it's always just like brings chills to my arms just seeing the connections that are being made constantly throughout the entirety of this event.
Yeah, and we rebuild our whole venue for it too. All these other operations are still going on. We're still planning Halo. We're still working with the Charlotte Phoenix, and then inside the venue, we just for Carry to College specifically, we actually set up, I think it's 30 or 32 PCs.
Head up to 32 this time around.
Yeah, so 32, and so we hire a bunch of part-time staff, and they all help run streams. And so every single match that is played is broadcasted in some way, shape, or form. Now they're not all casted, because that's another army of 32 casters or even 64 casters because you need 2 of them. But we do get them at least up on stream so that if you were a coach and you want to look at one specific player, you could go and do that. And I think that's super important for coaches to be able to analyze the gameplay and see other players. And on our side, it's hard to run. Right, that's another event that takes a lot of coordination, a lot of people moving the right direction, just internal to our team. So it's a big feat that we take on every year, twice a year. And some of the games and connections is just amazing. I remember when I was looking at the Discord, we actually have a college section, college fair, and so you can go and see all of the schools that are recruiting actively, and some of the coaches are chilling in there. So if you're just a player and you just won or played a game or want to introduce yourself, you just click your little button there and join the Discord and say, hey, my name's whoever it is, and I'm interested in coming and playing for your school, and just shutting up at that point, letting them talk back to you and ask questions, and then see if it's kind of a marriage that works there. And a lot of times that's how we see a lot of connections happen. Is somebody sitting in Discord and just educating on how the landscape works. It's complicated, right? Going to school is complicated.
Certainly.
Finding an esports scholarship is also complicated.
Oh yeah,
in a lot of ways.
It can be.
Can definitely be, and part of that process is so that they can reach out to the coaches. So amazing event, and a lot of work and effort go into making it amazing. So
yeah, and that's from being on the stream itself and seeing all the things that Stay Plugged In is doing to this, that's just the active part too. I mean, there's senior spotlights and interviews going on constantly, where if colleges look at this content even after the event and they're seeing a student that they really like, we feature those senior spotlights exclusively to really highlight the students that are coming up, right, and wanting to play for a team too. And all these VODs, right, like, so we're talking like 32 videos that are like 4 hours long or however long the event is, and organizing those so the colleges can look back and scout players like that. So just so much goes into that weekend as a whole. And but if you want to get into the Spin Series now, this is going to be a 6-week-long regular season. It's basically what the weeklies are with Stay Plugged In, which will run for Rocket League and Valorant. But there is a tournament at the end for the teams that earn the most points. So Rocket League and Valorant, top 2 titles, again, here for the Spin Series.
Yeah, and the weeklies are really we like those tournaments a lot, I think for a couple reasons. One, I think consistency is king in our space. I think you have to have something where people can sign up for, because working with the kids, they can just be short-sighted at times, if I'm completely honest. And I love them to death, but like sometimes they just can be short-sighted, and nothing wrong with that. It's just they want something tangible they can touch on today. So that's one of the offerings that we have, is so you can grab your team, come compete today, and you know, based off of what we've done historically. We have good competition in those. You know, we traditionally don't get a lot of silvers and golds that kind of show up as a teams. We end up with like all Radiant teams or a bunch of Supersonic Legends, and you know, and that's good. You know, we like that about the tournaments, and so we're going to continue to expand and grow those. But we're excited about that series, and we're excited to have that consistent thing that people can kind of grab onto as players and invest time and effort into, so that they can continue to hone on their skills if they're looking for good competition.
Yeah. So, if you're looking for a collegiate home, too, if you want to compete in collegiate esports in general, I mean, the Spin Series is a great place to dip your toes in the water, too, and kind of find out what the competition's like, what a routine is like, which will definitely happen in college, trying to manage your time accordingly, too, I imagine. So that's a big part of it, too. And, again, that's coming up as well. It actually starts and kicks off this week, and in fact, tonight. So, as of this recording. But if you're just watching this now.
It actually happened already.
Yeah.
You saw it. It's happened already. You can go look. Reed will put it on Liquipedia so you can see it.
We know the results already. That's what it is, 100%. So, yeah, if you miss week 1, if you play Rocket League and Valorant and you're like, oh, how do I get involved? Is it too late? No, it's not. If you missed week 1, you can certainly join in week 2 and start earning points accordingly. And obviously, the most points at the end wins. You're not required to play it every single week either, although we do encourage the regular practice, right? But just get involved. Go to staypluggedin.gg/events and find the weeklies. It's really easy and a good way to get involved. Speaking of which, if you want to get even more involved, one of the coolest way to do that is going to a Spin LAN. What is a Spin LAN? It is Stay Plugged In's LANs, right? The live events where we, in this instance, in this season, it seems like there's a lot of live events going to campuses, a.k.a. the Campus Series. So I'll talk a little bit about the first one here at Wake Forest and what we got going on there.
Yeah, so well, it's been really, really cool to see over the last probably 6 months, maybe 7 months, Red Bull Campus Clutch, all these other different events. We've been getting to know a lot of the local colleges in North Carolina. We just see them everywhere. And you can tell there's a craving for LANs from the college teams to be able to compete. And so the Wake Forest guys hit us up. They went to JCC, which is a different LAN that we had about a year, well, it's probably 6 months ago, at Johnston Community College, which we're going to do again this spring. So we'll be back over there at some point. But, you know, it was nice because the Wake Forest kids were all there, and they have an awesome program. And Gabe over there is kind of their student leadership and their president, and he's really a go-getter and wants to see everything done right. And so Gabe has been awesome and you know, getting us set up so we can run an event. But we're going to go to their campus. We're going to play Rocket League. We're going to play Valorant. We're going to play Smash. High school teams are invited. College teams are invited. And it'll be a fun LAN day. You know, this is, you know, when I think about my buddy, and we talked to the Charlotte Phoenix at the beginning about Halo and stuff, this is like my dream of, like, if we were playing Halo back in the day, this is a place where I would go and want to compete. And
100%.
So, and there's a prize pool, right? And so we have money that we're going to be able to give out to winning teams, and there'll be relationships that are made there between other colleges and colleges that maybe are still looking for high school talent, because they'll probably find them there, and that group tends to run together on the high school and the collegiate side, just try and find the right spots. So we're excited about the Wake Forest LAN. It'll be really, really fun, and hopefully we have some close matches that we can be able to highlight and give back to the community after it's over.
For sure. You talked about there being a lot of work, you know, behind the scenes at HCS. It's kind of the same way with Campus Series LANs. Talk a little bit about what goes on the operations side.
Oh my
Your bread and
gosh.
butter. Your bread and butter of the operations.
Man. Yeah, it takes an army. You know, I am only one man, and I don't know everything, and I make mistakes and I drop the ball more than I'd like to.
Sure.
But we have a great team over here, and we actually do a really, really good job putting together LANs. Normally, if there are mistakes, people don't know a lot about them. Only I know, because
it eats you up, but they can't tell.
Everyone says that to me. I love to eat myself up on the little things that I want to be there. But the Campus Series LANs are very, very cool. If we had to talk about the epitome of what esports is, I actually think the Campus Series LANs are the embodiment of it. It is kids coming together to be able to get an opportunity to meet every college. And it's so cool to really watch those relationships develop over the weekend because we always start setting up Friday for the most part, and then we run a Saturday, Sunday, and by Sunday afternoon, they've made friends with each other. The teams have been talking to each other. The winners, the losers, they all want to chat about what happened in round 4 and why they did what they did and where they were, and there's this camaraderie that's built from it, from that shared love and that passion of doing the same thing together.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get to see it. You get to see it real time. I mean, I think that's what's super special about it for me is when I get to go, I get to meet all these. A lot of them, the kids will follow us, but I get to meet all the kids, and sometimes they'll just be everywhere. And it's like, dude, you were at the LAN last weekend, and he's going to the next one, and that's amazing to see.
Sure, yeah.
And I love it when they're that dedicated and they just show up with their parents too. Mom and dad will always be there at the same time.
Some of them look a little bit lost sometimes.
That's right.
You got the parents that are involved.
That's
too.
right. So we get to dedicate time to talking to moms and dad and our grandma. I've had grandma shown up and aunts and uncles, and so you get to meet them all. But it is definitely the embodiment of what esports is and what it looks like. And I'm super excited for our series. We have a lot of LANs coming up in the next couple of months, probably 8, 9, 10, something like that, and we're still trying to fit more in. And that's only going to get, we're going to do more in the spring. So we'll have a lot of those LANs. But if you're a competitor and you want to get a taste, definitely check out one of those LANs. They're normally pretty low barrier to entry, and you can show up with your team and get your first LAN experience because it's different. It's different playing in front of a group of people than it is at home, not on your own PC. And so that's why I love the LANs. It's cool to meet people and shake their hands and tell them that you're better than them on LAN as opposed to
that's always
as
great.
opposed to on the internet. So.
Well, and that's the grandpa I want to be. Is the one that shows up to these LANs.
There you go.
Support in this
That's
way.
right.
I love that.
We got to take the grandkids to the LAN. I can see it now. Papa Bear.
100% going to do that for sure. Again, if you want to be involved in some of that of these cool events coming up, you just have to go to staypluggedin.gg/events, and they'll show up. Also, follow us on Twitter to be stay_plugged_in. That's where a lot of the announcements can be found for Stay Plugged In LANs. So always keep up to date there too. And I actually got the chance to talk to Gabe as well. So Gabe Martineau as well. We've got an interview coming up right after this. So CJ, thank you again for coming to talk with us here on the Esports Architects Podcast.
Of course, and Bear, thanks for all the effort and time and energy you put in all these projects, man. You're freaking killing it, and love to see that. And you're driving away at it, and I'm just it's awesome to see your journey, and I just wish you continued success in all the things you're building, man.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Gabe is next. All right, architects, with me right now is Gabriel Martineau. He is the WFU, or Wake Forest University Esports Association president. Gabe, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, happy to be here.
Awesome. We'll talk a little bit about your program at Wake Forest. Obviously, you got some big things happening over there in Winston-Salem.
Of course, yeah. The Wake Forest Esports Association is the third largest student org on campus. We have about 170 official members with over 500 on Discord and other social medias. We provide competitive play for a wide array of gaming titles, and we hold events around campus for the more casual member base. We have sort of like a two-sided thing where we have people that put all their energy into one game, like Valorant or Rocket League, and then we have others who double in everything, maybe joining some of the B teams for league play, while still making time to show up to a casual Smash event or club collab from week to week.
Got it. So, let's talk through the process. Obviously, it sounds like a cool setup that you have. Let's say I was a beginning member, like I'm becoming a member of Wake Forest Esports. What is that experience like on day one? And what would the environment, what would you say the environment's like for somebody that's walking into this?
Oh, it's super chill. If you joined one of our general body meetings, you'd meet people from all kinds of backgrounds that are familiar with all kinds of games. We typically give general club updates like upcoming events or new jerseys before getting into gaming sessions like casual Smash Bracket or an Arcane Watch Party, the League of Legends anime. Nice. Super cool, super fun. Nice. We always love to meet over Discord as well, have game nights like Among Us or Scribblio, play code names, throw a theme on it. We've had like 15 people in a VC before just yelling at each other over Among Us. It's such a good time.
That's awesome. We used to do that with watch parties all the time, and Scribblio was my favorite. It's so much fun. So it is. Obviously getting people engaged, that's what you guys do. So obviously you're the leader there, right? So I'd like to kind of hear about your experiences as a leader here in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's awesome. Winston-Salem, it's a pretty small college town, so you get to know everyone here pretty well. That alongside the small campus of Wake helps us build relationships and connections with each other super easily. Every time I go to like Target or Chipotle in Winston-Salem, I end up seeing someone from Wake, and we always say hi and chat for a little bit, sit down, have some fun. It's a great area, and I'd highly recommend it for anyone looking to be in a tight-knit community in college.
That's amazing. Well, you're joining forces with Stay Plugged In as well. So I'd like to kind of go over the LAN this weekend, talk a little bit about the details of what's going on this upcoming weekend, and why you've partnered with Stay Plugged In to host it.
Yeah, of course. We're hosting a LAN this weekend at Wake with a $1,350 prize pool. If you are first place in Valorant, Rocket League, or Smash Bros. Ultimate, you'll get $100 personal, individual. And if you're second place, you'll get $50 as well. Anyone can sign up. It's just $10 for a ticket. WFU students get in free. It comes with a chance to win a trophy in cash. We're going to have really nice trophies, I feel like, one for each game. It'll go to the teams, obviously, for Valorant and Rocket League. There'll be free merchandise, free food. We're trying to get the Demon Deacon there so you can take pictures with him. Nice. It's going to be a great time overall. Working with Spin especially, they're such a good host. I've been to 2 events in the past with Spin, and they always run super smoothly. The environment's super hype, and I can't wait to see how we can do it here on campus.
That's amazing. So the goal is to just, grow the program as a whole?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want to invite people, obviously, from universities and high schools, get them in here, see what Wake is like, look at the campus, build connections with the other universities. That's always huge. If we could do like a collegiate triad tournament, right? If we get connections with NC State, Elon, et cetera, UNC, UNCG, we could, be more connected, do more things in the future, whether that be with Stay Plugged In or just something online, more casual. It would just be great, honestly, especially if we have high schoolers there that can see what their future is like in esports in the industry.
Too cool. So I know you mentioned, you go out to Target or anywhere local, basically, and you'll run into individuals from Wake Forest and even from the esports side of things, which I think is super cool. Obviously, it's a very close group there. So talk a little bit about what you all like to go out to do, right? Maybe if we're talking food, maybe going somewhere to get food, or maybe a hangout spot. Where are the kids going Fridays and Saturdays? So that way, if we come out to the LAN, right? If I'm a student coming out, where do I look for? Like, what is there to do around the area?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to do on campus alone, right? Wake Forest has a pizza place called Zook's. They have like a little arcade area downstairs with pool, air hockey, nice. Board games, etc. It's super fun. It's a good lounge. We have a 24-hour Subway, so if you're up till 3 a.m. gaming and you're getting hungry, you could just go over to Subway, get some food. They have a little store there too, so you can bulk up on snacks or something, I guess. I don't know. It's really good. Also in the area, you go downtown, you see Target and Chipotle right by each other, like 5 minutes away. Chipotle is such a good hangout spot. You just go there, get some burritos, chill with some friends, buy some stuff from Target. It's a great time.
Again, this LAN is coming up at Wake Forest University, so make sure you check out all the details. You can go to staypluggedin.gg/events and look for the Wake Forest LAN, and you can find all the details and register there. Gabe, thank you so much for joining me on the Esports Architects Podcast.
Of course.